Hey Opties! Today we're on Khan Academy looking at rational equations. So we want to find all the solutions to the given equation here. Notice we have one rational expression equals another rational expression, and we've just got that fraction equals a fraction situation. So when we have that situation, we want to cross multiply. So let's do that. We'll have 3 times x plus 3, which is this together, and that equals multiplying these two pieces, which is x times x plus 2 times x plus 3. So if you notice, there is an x plus 3 on both sides, so you can quickly get that to be simplified to 1 on both sides by dividing both sides by it. So that's what we'll do, and that's a really good step to make things go ahead and simplify really nicely. So those will simplify to 1, and now we just have 3 equals x times x plus 2. So we'll go ahead and distribute our x into our x plus 2, and we get x squared plus 2x. Now notice that we have, eventually we're going to get to a quadratic trinomial if we get all of these on the same side. So getting this to all equal 0, we're going to get x squared plus 2x minus 3. We've subtracted 3 from both sides technically, and that equals 0. So now we want to find factors of -3 that add to 2. We're going to try to factor this to solve it. So this is a situation like if you've seen on our notes video when I said you're going to cross multiply then solve your quadratic. That's one of these situations. So we have a quadratic after we have done our cross multiplication. Now we want to solve it. We're going to try factoring here. So factors of -3 that add to 2. That's going to be a +3 and a -1. So x plus 3, x minus 1. Of course, that still equals 0. Equals 0 over here. And if we set both of these factors equal to 0, then x equals -3 and +1. So those will be our solutions. So we're looking for -3 and +1. Let's check. So I wondered why in the world did I get this wrong? And I realized that we did factor it correctly. So the factor form truly is x plus 3, x minus 1 equals 0. That's what you get when you're done. But -3 will make your denominator 0, which is a big fat no-no. That's one of our restrictions. And we know that because of this right here. That's a factor of our denominator. So we have to consider, or this one also, we have to consider that any solutions we get or any answers we get here that can apply if it's a restriction of our original equation in either of our rational expressions. And because -3 is a restriction, x cannot equal -3. So that's why it does not apply as one of our answers. So we'll check now and we're good. So let's do one more. Let's look at our second question. I have looked at this question before and I kept getting it wrong and I was like, what in the world? And so I used a hint and I realized this little teeny tiny minus sign, which may be easier to see if you don't have your grid showing. This little minus sign, I was completely missing that in my problem. So that was the culprit. So let's work this and make sure I include the minus sign. So for the minus sign, you can either include it on the numerator or denominator of this, which I highly suggest putting it on the numerator. That way you only have to apply it to one term. You don't have to distribute it to the x and the -3. So now let's use our cross multiplication. -2 times x minus 6 equals x times x minus 3. So we'll distribute on both sides. -2x plus 12 equals x squared minus 3x. Now if we want to put all of the terms on the same side, because we do have a quadratic here, we're going to want to try to factor that. So let's put them all on the same side. We can add 2x to both sides and subtract 12 from both sides. And then so we have x squared, a -3x course, these are 0, right? A negative 3x plus a 2x is a minus x. Here we go. That's what I got wrong before because I had my signs wrong. And then we have a minus 12, and that equals 0. So let's try and factor this into two binomials. Since a is 1, it's going to be x and x. So we're going to find factors of negative 12 that add to negative 1. Okay, factors of negative 12 add to negative 1. Negative 4 and positive 3. Okay, so negative 4, positive 3. And now our solutions will be 4 and negative 3. Since we set both of these equal to 0, that's how you get these. Now let's double check. Let's look at our restrictions of our original, because that's what we messed up on before, I messed up on. So if x minus 3 is the denominator and x minus 6 is the denominator, x cannot equal 3 or 6. So actually that doesn't interfere with our solutions, which is cool. So both of these should be our solution, a 4 and our negative 3. And we're good. All right, Opties, that's it for rational equations. See you next time.